Hi Pookies! Welcome back to my channel. It is me, Happy Clover Bear. I'm so happy to be back. And I just want to take a moment to applaud myself for actually being consistent. Like, especially since I'm about to hit a year in a little bit. Like, I love that I'm really putting a lot of time and effort into this YouTube channel. I'm gonna hurry up because we low-key got a tornado watch going on and I need to get inside. But I'm not gonna rush through it. Before I get into the story time for today, let's get into some updates on past characters. So I found out that Armor from my most recent video assaulted at least one person. So I left our D&D campaign and unfollowed him on everything, and we no longer speak. Shrimp graduated, so we don't talk anymore. And Banana, yesterday I was on the phone with my best friend Puka, and I'm scrolling through TikTok, and I initially followed Banana on TikTok, right? But then it showed up on like the people you might know or whatever, and I was like, people I might know, I follow her. I went to her page and it said I wasn't following her, so I was like, okay, glitch. I hit the follow button again, it immediately just goes back to like as if I never pressed it. I was like, oh, I've been removed. So I checked if she's still following me on TikTok, and she was. So then I check on Instagram and I'm removed on everything. And also like a few days before this, she deleted the group chat that she started with like all of our mutual friends in there. So I thought that was weird, but she didn't really give me a reason why I got cut off. But it was just weird timing because, you know, she did all of that, like removing me and stuff, a day after I posted my video about her and Armor. And the video only has 3 views, which I'm pretty sure are all myself. But anyway, let's get into the main story time for today. So we're bringing back a familiar character, Apothecary. She's from the video Am I Being Love Bombed, or Do I Have a Big Imagination? Some other characters for today are Kabuki, who is my little sister, and then Archer, who is Apothecary's little sister. So Apothecary initially invited me to a concert, but I was low-key avoiding her at the time because of what had happened in the previous video that I filmed about her. Oh my god, why did I see Stripe walking around? Shit. Alright, so yeah, I was avoiding her already. And then a week before the concert was gonna happen, she calls me again, and I was scared because I'm like, I already told you I can't go to the concert. What do you need? But she was like, hey, I'm gonna be in town. Do you want to go hang out? And I was like, yes, let's go to like this restaurant in town that we're just gonna call Tajari's. So then, like, I kind of had a bad feeling about us chilling together, but luckily we both had to babysit our siblings, so we rescheduled the hangout to the following day. And the day that we were gonna hang out, my sister Kabuki, she texts me and she's like, are you still hanging out with Apothecary later? And I'm like, yeah, at 4 p.m. I thought she was asking because she needed a ride somewhere. But then she's like, hey, don't speak about me if I come up as a topic. And I'm like, wait, what did I say in our messages? I was like, girl, not you feeling like the birthday, like nobody was thinking about you. And like, keep in mind, my sister is like very insecure. And like, for backstory, Archer, for a reminder, Apothecary's little sister, stopped being friends with Kabuki because Archer is a very clingy, Sagittarius, and Kabuki is very loving and caring, but she's also very independent. And then Kabuki, she started making friends with like other people, and Archer saw that as like a threat. And also, like, the people whom my sister was getting closer with, they weren't people that didn't like Archer, but it was like Archer's very judgmental, and like, if you're gay, she probably won't like you. If you're trans, she definitely won't like you. So yeah, she just didn't like the people my sister was hanging out with. And then Archer started like ignoring my sister to test her and see if she actually cared, which is like hella immature. And then in my notes, I wrote down this quote from like an email that I wrote to myself a few months ago. I was like, I have an infinite amount of love to give that should never require a test of any kind. And that's exactly how I feel about the situation between Archer and Kabuki, because it's like, my sister, She loves everybody down. Obviously, my sister loves me because she kind of has no choice because we're related by blood and she can't get rid of me. But, like, we have a tough relationship and she still loves me. So it's just like, why are you testing my sister? Kabuki, she didn't really care because she had other friends. And she kind of just thought the relationship was going to fizzle out. But then Archer goes and starts talking crap about my sister to random people. And then somebody came to my sister and was like, oh, are you still friends with Archer? And my sister was like, kinda. Why do you ask? And then they were like, oh, because she's talking about you. So then my sister texted Archer and was like, are you freaking good? And then Archer was like, she finally admitted that she had been feeling ignored, which she could have just said that from the get-go. And then Archer said that she didn't want to be friends with my sister. And my sister was like, okay. And they went their separate ways and they no longer speak to each other. Kabuki and we argued a little bit when she asked me not to speak about her because I know everybody is a little bit insecure and everything, but please don't project that onto me. Like, I wasn't even planning on bringing her up and it was giving me secondhand embarrassment. Apothecary doesn't even have an issue with my sister. Like, Apothecary actually loves my sister down despite everything that happened between Archer and Kabuki. So it's just like, why? What's the problem? Why are you doing that? And then my sister, she's like insecure about people talking about her. But at the end of the day, it's just like, girl, like, give them something good to say. Like, people are going to talk about you regardless. But anyway, Apothecary and I hang out at the movies. And while we're getting refreshments, she says, I saw Kabuki the other day and she completely ignored me. And I was like, oh, maybe she had headphones on or like there was other people around. And she was like, no, like, your sister, like, I said hello to her and she just upright ignored me. And I was like, oh, well, I wasn't there, so I don't know. Because, like, I can't even defend my sister because that's very rude. And like, I also wasn't there, so I'm not gonna like go on her, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't know what the context of that situation was, but my sister was being rude. That's whatever. My sister is known for being rude though. And then I completely changed the subject. And we had a good time at the movies. We kept joking around and stuff. Then after we were done with the movie, she's like, let me get my Uber. And I made the stupid decision to offer her a ride back instead of her taking an Uber, which that was very kind of me to do. But it's just like, girl, why are you doing this to yourself? So we get in my car. Oh, and I forgot to say this. Like, we just kept, she kept flirting with me the whole time. Like, she was making fun of me because, like, I have a hard time, like, ordering my food and stuff. And when I went to order the popcorn, I made a mistake. And she started making fun of me. And I was like, girl, I will fight you. And I got my platforms on. I'm taller than you, so please don't play. And she was like, don't threaten me with a good time. Like, if y'all get what she was trying to say. And I was just like, anytime, she just, like, kept flirting with me. And I just kept saying, okay, bro. Like, all right, bro. Like, trying to little bro her because this is not that. We get in my car and somehow the topic of my sister comes up. What did I say? I think she was, because, like, I curse a lot when I'm driving. Like, I have a hard time making left turns and, like, knowing when it's my turn to go and stuff. So I curse a lot. And she was like, I've never heard you curse this much. And I'm like, that's because whenever I'm around you, like, I'm around my sisters. So I can't really be acting like that because they're kind of snitches. And she was like, speaking of sisters, what's going on with Kabuki? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, trying to act stupid. And please keep in mind, I have no clue at this point in the story why Kabuki doesn't like Apothecary, other than the fact that she's Archer's sister, which is immature. But I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know? Because I kind of understand that, like, if somebody is the op, the whole family is the op, you know? Which is immature. But some people operate like that. And my sister's definitely the type to be, you know, like that. So Apothecary, she starts going on and on about how Archer is so hurt that the friendship with Kabuki ended and that she has nobody to confide in about personal issues. And side note, I never really agreed with the relationship between my sister and Archer just because it always seemed like Kabuki was simply Archer's diary and Archer never really reciprocated or had anything to offer with my sister. Like, they would joke around at most or, like, talk about K-pop or makeup, but Archer was just always a very judgmental and mean person, especially towards other people. And my sister never really was rocking with it. And they were just kind of incompatible in my opinion. And I also noticed that Archer doesn't really have good boundaries. Like, she would tell her whole family's business to my sister. Stuff that didn't even regard her. Stuff that wasn't even her business to tell. And I'll be like, Kabuki, like, you need to tell her, like, stop talking about her family. Because, like, you don't need to be knowing that stuff. Like, it was just some crazy stuff that she was telling my sister that I can't even really repeat. And, you know, they just did not have good boundaries in that friendship. And I knew it was not going to end well. And I told Apothecary, back to present time, I told Apothecary that my sister is doing amazing and making new friends. And listen, I know Kabuki asked me not to speak about her, but Apothecary was trying to make it seem like my sister should feel guilty about the fact that her and Archer are no longer friends. And I wanted to show her that my sister don't gaff. Like, she's doing perfectly fine. She's making new connections, enjoying life, living, which is exactly what Archer should have been doing this whole time. Because you don't stay at the level you were at when you stop being friends with somebody. You level up, you upgrade. And then Apothecary started talking about how my sister removed her as a follower on Instagram. And she was trying to make it seem like my sister was hating on her for no reason. Throughout all of this, I'm just confused because Apothecary was always just Archer's sister. Kabuki and Apothecary never any type of relationship. So I'm just confused as to why she's acting like they were super close and she's been cut off. I emphasized to her, speaking generally, of course, that no friendship can survive without good boundaries. That it's good for people, especially in high school, to explore several friendships. And there's nothing wrong with simply moving on from a friend. It doesn't always have to be like a fallout or a situation. Sometimes you just kind of move on because something's not really serving you anymore. And she expressed that she wanted our sisters to reconnect. And I let her know that her sister and herself have my sister's phone number. And that all they have to do is text her. And the reason why I said that too is because, like, why are you complaining to me about stuff that my sister is doing when you could just go and talk to her? Like, yes, my sister could do some things differently, like communicate better and stop holding a freaking grudge. But I'm not going to sit up here and gossip with you about my sister. So then I was like, yeah, it's getting late. I need to go home. And we went our separate ways. And she was just kind of acting weird because I think she wanted me to, like, say my sister did something wrong, but I wasn't going to do that. And I asked my sister, like, a few days later, like, why were you ignoring Apothecary? Not on, like, any type of accusatory type stuff, but just, like, so I can have a better context of the situation, because I was really confused at this point, and I don't deserve to know, but it's just like, okay, what's going on? And my sister claimed that she ignored Apothecary when that girl was standing in front of her the other day because she, quote unquote, didn't want to be fake. And I know how my sister operates. She was just trying to be petty. And then the thing I don't like about what my sister is doing is that she won't block Apothecary, but she continues to complain about the girl following her. Block her. It's like people keep forgetting the block button exists. Block them. If somebody keeps trying to contact you, put a wall up. And it's the same type of argument I hear all the time where people will be like, oh my god, this guy is bothering me. He's bothering me. And then they still let him play in their face. Block him. You like the attention. You like the attention. And my sister told me that the whole reason why she's holding some grudge against Apothecary is because almost 3 years ago, Apothecary, like, basically ambushed me at my sister's birthday party, and she tried to guilt me into apologizing to her brother because I accused him of being racist and a bully. Side note, he wasn't racist, but he was a bully. And Kabuki is just mad because she got in trouble with our parents for not sticking up for me in that situation. Instead of putting energy into making sure that a situation like that never happens again, she's getting mad at Apothecary when the blame isn't really on that girl. And I think that it's also important to mention that Apothecary gave me a very heartfelt apology, and we fully worked through that situation. And my sister is saying she's mad because Apothecary never apologized to her. But the thing is that her and Archer continue to walk around the party, taking selfies and acting like none of it happened after the fact. So Apothecary couldn't tell that my sister had an issue. And my sister has also never expressed that she felt wronged by Apothecary to her. So how is she supposed to know? And almost 3 years later, my sister is still holding a grudge about an apology she never received, while also not expressing that she feels like she deserves one. And I don't understand, like, my sister got this sentiment that a lot of people have nowadays where it's like, why would I ask for an apology? You don't need to ask for an apology. You need to let people know that they did something wrong. Because, heck no, don't sit up there on your knees, arms and knees saying, please apologize to me, please, you did me dirty. No. But you should absolutely tell people, like, hey, I don't want to speak anymore because you did this, that, and the other, right? That's the mature thing to do. So, and also keep in mind, my sister, she is a Cancer. They're known for their victim complex. So when I asked my sister why she won't just block Apothecary or tell her that she doesn't want to interact with her, she kept saying, I don't want to interact with her. And my sister is just going in circles, stuck that way, because she's too immature to communicate her problems, which could easily be resolved, but she chooses to just withhold an immense amount of one-sided animosity. And on top of all of that, my sister keeps suggesting that she wants me to stop being friends with Apothecary. Babes, I got my apology. And you could get one too. But that is a battle for her to overcome. And I've made a promise to myself that if either of them ever speak to me about each other again, I'm just going to tell them to text each other. Because I'm sick of being in the middle of it. I don't need to hear both of y'all talking about each other when y'all could just say the same things you're saying to me to each other. Or stop talking to me about it. Full stop. And like my sister, she keeps saying like, oh, like, I know you wouldn't stop being friends with her. Yeah, heck no, I won't. Because like, you're not even trying to work through the issue. But anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And I will talk to you all later. Bye, Pookie.